Good afternoon, everyone. Not sure if you caught my video last night, but I came on a little bit late to do a paper pumpkin video showing off the March paper pumpkin. And today I'm coming in to show you an alternative card using this gorgeous stamp set that was kind of the bonus stamp set that came in our March paper pumpkin. Aside from this stamp set, I'm not actually, I might actually use the twine, but I'm not using any of the other pieces that may have been left over with your kit. The card we're going to make today is going to be using some pool party cardstock. So if you're at home and you have this kit and you kind of want to stamp along with me, some of the materials you'll need is a piece of pool party. This is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and then scored at 4 1/4, and so that's going to create our card base for our card. I then also have a piece of watercolor paper. You could use shimmer paper as well if you wanted, and I have cut this at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, so just kind of trimmed an inch off to create a nice 1/2 inch border all the way around. I've got a scrap of white paper and my Whisper white envelope. And then just a little scrap of, I believe this is smoky slate. And so if we take a look at this, that's just over 2 inches, because it was a scrap. It's just kind of not cut perfectly, by 1 inch. So 2 inch by 1 inch scrap piece of smoky slate. So those are the pieces we're using. We're going to start with our watercolor paper because we're going to need time to let that dry. So I've got my watercolor paper. I'm going to grab some Bermuda Bay re-inker. If you don't have Bermuda Bay re-inker, you can always just grab your stamp pad and kind of like give it a little squeeze and get some ink onto the lid. I personally like using the re-inkers, so I can just do a little drop on one of my clear blocks. And then I'm going to use my aqua painter. Hey Janice! Hope you're enjoying this gorgeous sunny day. So I've got my aqua painter here. I'm going to squeeze it and get a bunch of water on my block with my Bermuda Bay. I'm also going to come in with just water and give a little paint on my paper. Just kind of really go wild here and just spread it all over. Then I'm going to come in and grab my color and spread that here onto my watercolor paper. So I'm just doing like a really nice splotchy background here with my Bermuda Bay color, and can kind of bring it down and just keep a good little like 1/2 inch border again around your blotch and your edges. We want to have still that white edge because we are going to be putting this onto a pool party background. All right, once we've done that, I'm just going to use a tissue and squeeze my aqua painter until it runs clear. That way I can be able to use that with any other colors. All right, so I've got that one put away. And, oh, why won't that go in? There we go. Got that put away. And then I'm just going to use my tissue to wipe up the excess. Now, if you were going to do a few of these, you would have had enough there to make 2 or 3 cards. And just going to let that run down. All right. So it's just starting to pool a little bit. So I'm just kind of moving it around so that it doesn't pool right along the edges. So I'm going to set that off to the side to dry. And while that's drying, we're going to work on the rest of our card. So today's card does involve quite a bit of fussy cutting. So I have done some of it in advance, and I'll just do a little bit of it right now just to show you what I have done. So I'm going to grab some Memento ink and my rubber boot stamps. And I'll ink these up. Actually, just turn it this way. Be able to see a bit better if I've got ink all over these. All right. So I hope you are all having a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. I was kind of tempted to come in here and do a St. Patrick's Day card, but realized it's probably too late to be able to send that out. So there we go. All right, so I've stamped these. Now you can see this one I didn't stamp very well. That's actually okay because I've actually already created that other boot. But when you are doing yours, you're definitely going to want to make sure that those get fully stamped onto this page so that you can see the whole image. Now, along with those cute rubber boots, I have the overlays of the gorgeous flowers, and I'm actually going to stamp these in oh, I think it's, yeah, smoky slate. So kind of an untraditional color for a rubber boot, doing them in gray, but I just love the gray and Bermuda combo. So now I'm going to stamp that off. Okay, just making sure that it's stamping my image clearly. All right, so re-ink that. These are actually fairly easy to line up, especially if you kind of put them towards the top of the boot. And then make sure the top and the sides are lined up, because when they stamp, they actually do leave the toe of the boot exposed and white. So I stamped that a little high today. That's okay. All right, so that was with our smoky slate that we did that. Now I am going to come in here with some blends. I'm going to use my dark Pool Party to color in the label. There we go. I'm going to use my dark smoky slate to color in my toes and give them a bit of a dark bottom, because you don't often see a dark bottomed rubber boot, or a white bottomed rubber boot. So come in there and color those, and I'm also going to come in with that dark smoky slate and color the little tabs on the sides. All right. There we go. Then you can see here I've got my light Pool Party. So I'm actually going to use my light Pool Party to color in my whole boot. And it's just going to turn those little flowers and stuff in the background into being a gorgeous pool party instead of staying a gray and white contrast. So there we go. And then I am actually going to pull my dark slate in again and just go across the top of my boot. There we go. All right, so just a few little accents there on our boots. So with those done, we're going to do some stamping of the flowers now. Now where, oh, I put them on a block and now I don't see them. Oh no. Okay, oh, there it is. So in our memento again, we're going to take the image of the little basket of flowers and we're going to stamp that. We're only really concerned about getting the flower part stamped though. So I'm going to come in here and stamp that there and come around to the other side and stamp that again. So we're going to do one of these for the top of each boot. Now, these are actually really easy to color in because we actually have the stamp that's going to allow us to just stamp the whole image. So I've got my Melon Mambo. This is quite a strong color though, so I am going to do some stamping off with this. I'm going to ink up my Melon Mambo. I'm going to stamp it off and then come in here and line it up. This takes a little bit of a steady hand. And there we go. We've got all those flowers colored in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with my other bundle of flowers. Make sure to stamp that off so that I get the lighter color. Oh. Very sorry. We've been eating some popcorn and oh wow. I have had a little piece of popcorn stuck in my throat for a couple hours now, and it is driving me crazy. I've been trying to wash it down, and short of like gagging myself trying to pick it off, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do here. It is just killing me. Oh, I've had so much water, Janice. It's awful. Oh, and so painful. I got a couple stuck in my teeth as well, but I was able to get those ones out with some dental floss, and now this one at the back of my throat is killing me. Oh, so sorry. That is just awful. And then it kind of lays back flat, and I can feel it there, and there's nothing I can do aside from, like, I don't know, getting in there and like picking it out. I don't know, which is not a pleasant thought. So I'm hoping I can just wash it away. All right, so I just used my light Granny Apple Green. I think it has, and so it's like super aggravated, and oh, it's one of those things. I love popcorn and I hate it at the same time. Oh, all right, so I was using the light Granny Apple Green to come in and color those flowers. I'm actually only going to do the one set right now because I have actually cut one of these already, because it is a little bit time consuming. But I'm going to kind of come in here and cut off the basket part and just cut around the bottoms of these flowers and the little leaves and everything. All right, here we go. Here we go. So, not sure what you guys are doing to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We have a cake mix, and we're going to be putting that together, and then some green some green food coloring for the dye on our cake. So we'll have a nice little St. Patrick's Day cake. We don't normally do too much to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but thought since we're stuck inside, we might as well do a little something. So we've got that going on, and then making a shepherd's pie from scratch, and that's going to be dinner tonight. So yeah, kind of looking forward to that. One of my favorite meals. Okay, so a little bit of fussy cutting here. Glad I did one in advance. There we go. All right. So this is the extra stamp set that came with our paper pumpkin. And I've been having so much fun playing with it, trying out new things, and excited to share these with you in the coming days. Oh, all right. So here we go. Cut these boots out. So again, I'm only going to do the one for now because I've already got the other one cut out. Come in here and around the bottom. So these are very easy to cut out as well, which is nice. And right now I was wishing I had that cute little umbrella stamp set as well that's in the mini catalog. All right. So I'll save those for later. I'm going to make a second card after. All right. So we've got our flowers and our other boot. And now we are going to do some stamping on our card base. So I've actually got the one that I had done before. So I've got my two boots. I'm going to pull in my card base now. And this is the little flower. And the flower actually is from the main stamp set that came with this kit. So we've got the little flower in there. You could do the hearts or the clouds or something, but I kind of liked the flower for springtime. And we're going to stamp this with Coastal Cabana. Oh, you do have that under your umbrella set? It is so cute. It's on my wish list, but I don't have it yet. And it would go so well with these cute little boots. So with our Coastal Cabana, I'm just going to, remembering that I only have like about a 1/2 inch border here. Oops, wow. I'm going to come through here and just stamp my flowers around. All right. And there we go. All right. Okay, so here we go. Keep going around. Yeah, this one's a perfect one for March with our beautiful rainbows and our typically rainy days, although I'm really happy right now that we're having some sunshine. Now, I'm also going to stamp these flowers on the inside of my card. I'm just going to do 3 right here. All right. And I'm going to grab my envelope as well and stamp a few on the corner of my envelope. There we have that. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to put away my Coastal Cabana, and I have already created one of our watercolor pieces, so I don't have to wait for mine to dry because it is going to take quite some time. There was a lot of water on there. So I've got this piece of watercolor watercoloring that I did, and I'm going to grab that twine and make a little bow right here. Oops. Oh my. Okay, that's interesting. This is all tangled up. Okay, there we go. That's going to work a bit better now. So I would just hold that there with a little bit left over so I can actually tie a bow. And I'm going to bring this in and wrap it around twice. And put it together again, and then somewhere here I have snips. And I'll just snip off a piece so that I can tie a bow on here. I'm doing it just slightly left of center. So once I tie a knot here, oh, there we go, tie a knot there, and then I'm going to come in and make my double bows. Okay, come on. Oh no. There we go. And got the ends. All right. And just keep fiddling with them until you get them the right way. All right. And then I'm going to trim up these ends just a little bit. Awesome. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to grab that piece of gray paper that I had somewhere. Oh, there it is. All right, going to grab that piece of gray paper, bring that in, and I've got a sentiment on one of these blocks, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. So I put a sentiment on there. It's the wishing you brighter days ahead. I thought that was a nice one for everything that's going on right now. I'll probably be sending this one out this afternoon. I've got some friends who, on top of all this like uncertainty around the COVID, have some other things going on in their lives that just are not making it very easy right now. So I stamped that in Smoky Slate on top of a piece of Smoky Slate, and I'm going to grab my favorite tailored punch. and come in here and just center that and come out quite close to the ends. And there we go. We've made ourselves a little banner using our tailored punch. And get rid of those scraps now. And I'm going to use some dimensionals to put that onto my card so it's kind of coming off the edge. So where have I got my dimensionals here? All right. Actually, 2 should probably be enough to hold that in place. Okay. So get that on there right over top of my twine, and I'll pull that little end of that ribbon out. Oh, or maybe not. I think it's under a dimensional. There we go. All right. So now our next job is to put everything else onto our card front. So I'm going to put this one down, I think actually with some liquid glue. I want this one to lay quite flat because we have so much else going on and being popped up. There we go. So liquid glue all the way around, and center that before I really press it down. Oh, a little bit of extra glue there. So I can either let that dry and use my glue eraser, or I'll just rub it off right now. There we go. All right, so with that down, now I can come in and put in my rubber boots. So I'm going to put in my rubber boots and my flowers, with dimensionals. So I'm going to pop a dimensional on the back of my flowers, on the back of each, and some dimensionals on the backs of my rubber boots. So come in here, one at each foot, and one at the top of each boot. So I'm actually going to put my rubber boots down first and try and get them positioned fairly close to each other. All right. There's one. And get our other one here. So there's lots of time in my day now to do stamping, but I've actually been spending most of it out in my garden. I know, aren't the boots adorable, Catherine? I am loving them. So now these, when I put these on, I'm going to let them overlap the top. So if I didn't bother doing that coloring, it won't really matter too much because I am letting it overlap. And when I do the other ones, I'm actually going to let them overlap both, like the flowers and the boot tops. All right, so we're just about done. Last step here is I'm going to grab just a few little sequins, and what I've grabbed here are woven thread sequins. These are my absolute favorites, and I'm just going to take a little pinch. Really, as long as I don't get the orange ones, I'm not too fussed about what colors I get here. So I've got some blue, some iridescent, some pink, some more iridescent. Oh, and there's one orange one. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So let's see if we can grab a lighter blue one here to throw out there. Oh, or we've got a white. There we go. That's a nice mix. So I'm going to put just a couple down there and a couple up here. And that's going to finish off our card. So you can put these down however you'd like. You can use liquid glue or mini glue dots. I personally like using the mini glue dots to do this. So I'm just going to see if I have some here on my table. Yep, I do. So If you can peel the paper off and leave the sticky on the plastic, that's the easiest way to apply these. I have a lot of trouble doing that, so I just kind of stick them onto the back of the sequins and then peel the paper off. Sometimes I get lucky though. Nope, not that time either. So they are a little bit large for these smaller sequins. We used to have smaller mini glue dots that came in our paper pumpkins. They were perfect for these little ones. I've used up all of mine. Just blew through them all doing this. So I just kind of scrunch it up until it fits behind so that there's no sticky parts hanging out the front. All right. Well, that one totally rolled up on my fingernail. Alright, so just sneak that underneath. So yeah, just kind of roll them up until everything's behind. Kind of like what we do when we're using mini glue dots to put a bow onto something. And we just roll it up out of the way. Alright, and one more. I've got these papers all stuck to me now. There we go. And voila. So that is our finished card. There is our alternative card for our March paper pumpkin. So using the gorgeous stamp set with those rubber boots and the overlay on the rubber boots. And then I just stole the flowers out of the flower pot and threw them into the boots. So I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to be coming on over the next few days with some more alternatives for your paper pumpkin. And I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy this sunshine. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye.